Welcome to another episode of the GSatTrack How-To series. In this video, I'm going to cover a couple of different facets that are incredibly powerful and feature sets that are within GSatTrack. They have to deal specifically with emergency contacts and I/O information and I/O templates that you can set up inside GSatTrack. To begin, I'm going to come over here to our Manage button. I'm then going to click on Contacts. Next, I'm going to go ahead and either choose to add a new contact or work with an existing one. In this case, I'm going to work with myself. And again, the purpose of this is to be notified if events change with a sensor or an I/O that's connected to a device out in the field. This is more advanced, but this is what the power of the system can do. So the next piece is we want to make sure that we are highlighted as an emergency contact. Now, normally what this does is this informs us if someone out in the field is using an asset that happens to have an SOS button and triggers it, we'll be notified. But we want to be notified when something happens to a sensor or to information that is specific to a device that has to deal with like a temperature change or an on-off situation. So the next step, once I've made sure that I'm an emergency contact, is to save the change. Next, I'm going to want to come to an I/O mapping template. I've already set up a test one, so I'm then going to highlight that. Now, I've already got it set as an OSOS, but what this means is that if this Smart One device has a label of no or on label, yes, I will be notified by an SOS that an emergency has taken place. So as an emergency contact, this I/O, since it has been labeled as an SOS, will notify me that an emergency has taken place. Now here, we've just basically got information regarding an on state. But if I really want to make it meaningful, I can do things like come into my template here and change it to, let's say, pump off. So this is really powerful. So if this particular device now is going to tell me that it is off, or in an off state, I will receive an SOS. Now, if this pump, for whatever reason, stops working, I can be notified as an emergency that I need to respond to it. That's an incredibly powerful piece of our alerting system that you can manage by setting yourself up as an emergency contact. It's important to understand, again, that as an emergency contact, though, if you have devices that may not be connected to sensors that are in fact something like your cell phone or a Spot X, if you happen to hit the SOS trigger on that button, it's going to notify you that an emergency has been triggered. So just like that I/O is going to be notify us that an emergency has occurred, so will that SOS. So it's important to understand the differentiators, but this is a really slick way to understand information coming from devices that might be an emergency that we need to deal with. Thank you very much, and I look forward to our next video.